Everyone, welcome to today's version of my stream. We've got some fun stuff that's going to happen, and I'm excited to be back to regular coding. I feel like I've been doing so much publicity tour stuff for conferences, my book, all sorts of things that I haven't really had time to actually code. So I'm happy to be back. So I'm just going to get right to it. Uh, the first thing to do is this issue that was filed 15 hours ago, less than a day, that I really like. There is a prefer nullish coalescing rule, nicely linked in the rules issue template thing here, where we prefer you use question mark instead of or when possible, because it's a nice new operator, and that's a good thing to have. There are a few options for the rules. Ignore conditional tests, ignore mixed logical expressions, which aren't really relevant here. The yet, I should say, relevant yet. The issue posted by Jake Bailey, who I feel like, yeah, Jake is on the TypeScript team. That's cool. Is asking that we also recognize or equals rather than only recognizing or the like operator. Cool. So yeah, I agree with this issue. I think it's a good one. So first thing to do is I'm going to post on Twitter about it. So here we have, where is it? Boop. First up, Jake Bailey. Yeah. Oh, we follow each other. Thanks, Jake. It is a very good issue about on adding or equal to support for excuse me, for nullish coalescing. Agreed, this will be a nice improvement. Slightly smiling face. Awesome. Okie dokie. Whew. It's good to be back. All right. So first thing to do is pop open the repository. Got my window management shenanigans going on. Check out main, get full upstream main. Oh yeah, let me post this in the chat. Boop. There you go. Let's see, might I show my chat there? Courtesy of Ben Myers. And I'm just gonna refer nullish coalescing yes. All right, let's look at this rule. It's got, oh, only 183 lines of code. That's actually not bad. Some of our rules are much more complex. All right. My situation here is I'd like to add a feature to the rule, and I'd like to understand how the rule works. I'd like it to be, oh, hello. Hi, Ben. How are you? I feel like we were just talking. I want to understand how this thing works. Fold all. So what I'll do is I will fold all and then expand as I get to things. So first off, we have a bunch of imports on top. That's fine. We'll learn those later. Oh, nice. Thanks. A couple streams ago, Ben was kind enough to go on and audit the TypeScript ESLint site, and I'm still not done posting all the issues from that. I have a big list, and I've just been getting to them, but I've just been swamped. So this stream being me doing code instead of me filing issues is me selfishly wanting to code for the first time in several days. LOL. All right, so we have two options for the rule in its options object that it allows. Oops. One is ignore conditional tests. So I'm actually now going to go back to the docs and read what does this actually do. Let's zoom in a couple times. There we go. True is the default that will cause the rule to ignore any cases that are located within a conditional test. Generally, expressions within conditional tests intentionally use the falsy follow-through behavior of the logical or operator, meaning that fixing the operator to the nullish coalescing operator could cause bugs. This docs page still uses the old docs format, not our nice new like correct incorrect tabs. But all right, so when you have ignore conditional tests overridden to false, these are considered incorrect. And when you fix or ignore, then okay. So we ignore conditional tests like if, while, for, ternaries. Okay, and then the other one is ignore mixed logical expressions. Default true as well. Ignore any logical or expressions that are part of a mixed logical expression. Mixed logical expression. All right. These docs are another example, I think, of I will want to go through and rewrite them because they're quite old and I'm confused by them. We have new nomenclature we tend to use, but I guess it's the mixed means multiple operators, Boolean-y, or and. Okay. Cool. Ooh. The back issues are starting early on this stream. I love it. Sometimes I recommend drinking a lot of water for personal health. Other times I recommend, if you have back issues, see your physical therapist. All hail name brand or off-brand ibuprofen. Okay. All right, so now we understand those two options. They're about ors and ifs. Cool. So util.create rule. We have a bunch of metadata, which isn't super logical. The description, it has a suggestion. It does require type checking. These are the messages: prefer nullish, suggest nullish. So just to clarify here, this prefer nullish message, I'm inferring, is what's printed when the rule gives a complaint, and then suggest nullish is the text for the suggestion that the rule says, hey, do you want me to do this for you? Schema is object with two property. Oh, force suggestion fixer. Huh, that's not documented. Nor is it used anywhere. Dead code. Ah! So that's cool. It's not used in the file. It's not used in anywhere in the repo. I'm just gonna delete it. Yay! First code change this week. All right. And by default, both of the options are true. Cool. Okay. So in the create, we get our options, we get our parser services and source code and checker, which is for the type information. I don't know why we use source code. I haven't seen too many places use it, but fine. We'll see later. So already we have only one ES query thing, a logical expression operator equals or. So if we pop into the TypeScript ESLint playground, I'm just going to copy and paste this, put it in a comment here. So if we have A or B, you'll ignore the type. Let A number or undefined, let B or string. Yeah, let me just declare const them. Here we go. And if we pop open the ES-tree AST viewer, we see this is a logical expression that has an operator set to or. And if we make another one that's, let's say, a and B, then we have a logical expression operator and AND. So we're selecting on this, the A or B. We get the TS node, which is the TypeScript tree node. We get the type at the left. If the type on the left, so the A or B that's left, and B is the right, capitalize these for emphasis. Here we go. If it is a nullable type, including undefined, or if it's not a nullish type, so wow, some interesting options that I won't get into. But yeah, so if the type on the left isn't nullable, if it's just like a number or an array or something, then the rule is ignored. We have two options checks if it's a conditional test, and we ignore conditional tests, or if it's a mixed logical expression and we ignore mixed logical expressions. I don't see why this one has an inline is conditional test, and this one is an variable on the next line. I'm just gonna improve the code slightly. We don't need to go through the is mixed logical expression function if ignore is true or is not true. There we go. So these two handle the options. Here we see, okay, so now this is why we're getting the source code. So we get the token after the left, or we're getting the bar operator. I guess that's the or. Why are we doing this? What's this used for? I'm gonna unfold all basically. What's this used for? So the bar operator is what we are reporting on. Oh, this is an interesting and to me disagreeable part of the ES tree spec. The operator is stored as a string, not as a node. Like you notice how this is a node, an expression statement, and the left is an identifier A, and the right is an identifier B, but the operator is just a piece of string. Which I guess makes sense for saving space. Like the tree is more compact. There's less, like there are just fewer nodes in the tree. Takes up less memory. But now it means in the source code we have to use methods like get token after, where we get the token type and it's the value the node operator. Okay, so bar operator is a TS-ES tree token, or it's AST node type stop punctuator. Cool, and then I guess util.null throws is this utility that throws if the result is null for some particular reason. Okay. By the way, I'm starting to get a little faster, warming up, getting all excited, but feel free to ask questions, ask me to slow down and clarify things in the chat. Or if you have anything you want to talk about, code, TypeScript, ESLint, anything, just let me know. I'm always happy to chat. All right. So ignoring the fixer for now because that comes next. So if there is a bar operator, this or, and the type was nullable on the left, then we report on that operator node with a suggestion with the suggest nullish, and the fix is this fix. All right. So I think I understand how the rule works. We find any logical expression with the operator. We make sure the type is in fact this nullable shindig. And then unless we ignore something that happens to match the code situation, we complain. Straightforward and reasonable. All right, so next up is packages, ESLint plugins, tests. I'm going to yarn, jest, prefer, nullish, koa, whatever. Watch for nullish, coalescing.test. Yes, I'm going to do a little bit of TDD here. Now that I've like kind of understood the code, I want to, oh boy, look at all those tests. Jeez. I'm going to ignore that yellow error message. Why do we have so many tests? All right, I'm going to, oh geez, so many. I have to zoom out for a second here. I'm going to add a test that should cause a failure. Oh boy. To the invalid, I'll just add it at the beginning now, where the code is declare const left string or undefined, declare const right, whatever, Boolean, and then we do left or equals right. And then this should give some error. I'm just gonna copy and paste from some other rule. These are going to be wrong, but I'm just going to get to that problem when I get to it. Oh dear, where is my syntax highlighting off? Oh boy. Here? Okay. And this should suggest fixing it to question equals right. We have some formatting shindig, so let me just fix all the fixable problems. And that did nothing. Fix all. Yep. Come on. What's this complaint? No indent or re-indented. How many spaces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, there we go. Fine, whatever. Actually, I'm just going to make it 0 indent. This is not a productive use of my time. All right. And fun fact, you can also only true in these tests to make it the only run test to help save your consoles from spam. All right. So we should have had 1 error, but we had 0. Great. So now my goal is to fix it. We should have an error. And the reason why we don't have an error, I'm guessing, is because we only select on operators or, bar. We don't do equals, bar equals. So actually, if I just change it right there, this will pass this test and fail all the existing tests. Yay! Oh. I would think that this is the right. Let me check actually. What is this called? This is, oh, this is an assignment expression. This isn't a logical expression. So a logical expression would be like or. Assignment would be or equals. So this fix wasn't what I needed. I need an assignment expression. Operator equals or equals. And then the node is type TSES tree dot assignment expression. And it's unused. All right. So now we have basically the same stuff from here. I'm just going to copy and paste it. That's bad. Long term, we should definitely clean it up after. But in true TDD form, I'm making it bad and then I'll fix it later. I don't care just yet about these other options, so I will dedupe the code later and add back in those options. All right. Does it work? Oh, nothing yet. Nothing yet. Also, I'm getting annoyed at how much console spam there is, so I'm going to comment out valid, all of it, and also everything else in invalid. Boop. Super. SVS code complaints. Valid. And go TypeScript. What is all this? It says valid is missing, but I just added a valid. I'll restart TS for whatever. Anyway. Okay, no. Still the complaint. So at this point, I'm just gonna give up trying to take wild guesses, and I'm gonna add a debugger. So if I press F5 on my keyboard, or go to Run and Debug and click the play button, we start debugging. And what is this? What is all this? Is this the source map? What? Okay. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see whatever that was. There we go. All right. So we get the left node. We get the type of it. Is nullish, is false. Oh. Maybe I misunderstood the rule. All right. What is, so the node, TS node is, what is TS node? Source code. Is there like a get text? All right, get text. Does it take in a node? So can I get text a node? Cool. So if I get node.left, so it is left. I thought left is string or undefined. Why is it? Well, the docs said string or null. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch to null. That shouldn't be what's different, but who knows? We'll see if we hit that weird breakpoint in the source map. Shenanigans, that was weird. Again with this. What is? Whatever. It's fine. All right. Do. Oh. So the type has intrinsic name error. Great. So it's complaining that left does I couldn't get the type of left. All right. What's happening here? Oh my god, because I did const instead of left. Gosh darn it. And none of you people in the chat told me. Why didn't you warn me? All right. Declare let left. All right. See, this is why you can't take breaks from code the way I did, because you just lose the ability to see these silly little mistakes instantly. What an inefficient way to live. Right. Type on the left. It error again. Oh my god. Oh right, because it's not assignable. Oh my god. Okay, now we're good. Because I was assigning a boolean to a string. All right. And still nothing, so I'll debug again. It's irksome. I am irked. Why is this type an error? My god, I hate this. What's going on? tsnode.left is left. The text of the node is left or equals right. Oh, it's still doing the const. What? Declare const left. Oh, this is so annoying. Why are you doing this to me, VS Code? Oh my god, I was editing the output. Jeez, today is really not my day. Okay. Now I just feel ashamed. Okay, here we go. The error line should be 3, but it got 5. So let me just switch these over to 5. And let me guess, end column. Yeah, our column should be 6. Cool. Wait. Wait a second. Was it actually... Wait. Error column should be 5, but it received 6. Oh, it must be this one then. And 6 plus 3 is 9 for the 3 characters of the operator. Aha, so the fixer is also off. The fixer is fixing it to question mark instead of question mark equals. That makes sense because we need to fix to question mark equals. Great. And there's something wrong with the white space. I think this is why the rule in other places use .trim right. Right. There's an issue somewhere floating in the repo about trim right or trim left being used. Why is this deprecated again? Use trim end. Okay. Let's switch these all to trim end. Hey. All right, so that works. Cool. So now that the test works, I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup before I start doing some real, I don't know, extra testing. Um, I've never been great at following strict TDD. So what I'm seeing is that these are all basically the exact same, except the query is different, resulting in a different node type, and the fixer is different. So I'm just gonna do a classic extraction refactor here. There's a term for this. Wrap and extract comes to mind, but I don't think that's the right one. Check node, which takes a node tses tree dot assignment expression or logical expression. I'm just taking the code and moving it somewhere else. I'm taking the code that's basically duplicate and cut and pasting it into a shared function that takes any differences in as parameters. So when we check node, I'm just gonna follow the code from these places. These both are just directly calling to check node. Check node. And so this takes in replacement operator, but actually this could, I think, look at the nodes bar operator, or I'm looking at line 86. It's whatever the node dot operator is dot replace or with question mark. I think that's that'll work. Let's see. I have some TypeScript complaints about my function parameters, but yeah, that still works here. All right, cool. And then I'm betting this is mixed logical expression, takes in, yes, only logical expressions, but we also need to be able to take in assignment expressions, and it still works. LOL. Cool. Interesting that is conditional test takes in the less specific node type. I'm just going to increase specificity here. I don't know if that's a good or bad idea, but I like things being the same. So these two functions, to me, are both going to take in the same node parameter. All right. So I've actually done very little here. I've made the operator dot replace, and that's it. So let me go ahead and take a look at how the tests are actually set up. I'm just going to undo all the code that I changed because the existing tests were pretty comprehensive. Except I will change trim right to trim end. So it looks like these tests are done with a whole bunch of auto generation. ... some function that takes in nullish and type. So because, okay, so how many different functions are there? There's type valid test and nullish type valid test. That's 1, 2. Then also nullish type invalid test. So there are 3 functions that are being used to generate things. So what we can do is we can make the callback also take in the extra operator, which is maybe the equals sign. So instead of question mark, it's question mark equals, and then same with or the bar. So we have types.map, type callback, type extra operator. Now I'm not sure that I know how this actually works. So, okay, yeah, this will take in the type and the equals, let's call it. Why is this complaining? And let's put the equals there and there. So we're expanding the I don't know, we're expanding the existing auto generation of tests, the semi-automatic test generation thing, to also take in an equals. So actually, previously it was types.map type to callback, but we want to do 2 things. We want to do types.map with no equals, and we want to do it without. So equals it's either an equal sign or a blank string. So in one of them it'll be blank, and the other it'll be equals. Now why is this complaining? Oops, I modified a completely different test. All right. So now we have a whole bunch of tests running, and we still pass. Yay! So this type valid test, which is the only place it's called, still passes when we have tests that have an equals and tests that don't. So I'm just going to go ahead and modify everywhere else that touches things in this way. So there's only one here, nullish type equals, and let's put the equals here. Nullish type valid test equals, which is either a blank string or the equal sign. And we're going to add both the case with the equals and the case with the blank string. See if this still passes. I'm personally not super sold on the practice of generating so many test cases like this. In my experience, it gets kind of hard to wrangle, and in other cases, we've had like thousands upon thousands upon thousands of tests, which cause slowdowns in CI and running locally, but it's already like this, and I don't want to change too much in this PR. And the rule has existed, I think, mostly unchanged for quite some time. Oh boy. Timeline includes file saves. Let's see. Yeah, it's got not very many changes in the timeline. If you look at it, it's like 1 month ago for a new strict config with some renames, some refactors, and then like 2 years already. It's pretty stable. And then one more is, where is it? Here we go. Nullish type invalid test, which takes in, actually none of these equals are optional. They're always being taken in. So I will add it to there. Also add to the generation. And now we should start to see, actually no, because these are all still valid types. But if we look at all the nullish type invalid tests, I just press Command Shift L to select all of them. So you can see on the right, I have a bunch of multi-cursors. So nullish, comma, type, comma, equals, which also changed here. Great. Okay. And now if we, oh boy. Well, each of these has slightly different code, so I'm just going to have to put the code in different places. There we go. But I can see the yellow indicators on the right of unused parameters, which is where I'm going to look to make sure I need to do things. All right. What a bunch of odd cases. While x ? True. Who writes code like that? Apparently our users. Fun fact. People write weird code all the time. Wait, I skipped one. A or B. This is testing that parentheses gets added. I saw that in the fixer. Call it out though. And, oh wait, this is suggestion, and we also have a suggestion here. Okay. So here we switch the B or C to an equals, and we also switch the C or D to an equals. Cool. Now I'm starting to see why we have so many tests get auto-generated. There are a lot of edge cases on this rule. Function weird. You're darn tootin'. A or B, A or B. And okay. Save. And running. Wow. Oh no. 100 failed. 144 failed. I don't like that. Declare a const a, object or null or undefined. What? Where is this coming from? A or equal B or C. Ah. Probably this one, I think. Okay. Type or nullish. Yeah, this is a downside of auto-generated tests. You can't easily sometimes map from the name of the test to the thing, but this looks like it. A, where type is object or null, and we don't actually error on this case. Let me put an only on this one to skip other things and make sure I'm the right thing. "12 failed." Okay. And really, it doesn't matter which one. These are all failing, so I'm just gonna reduce nullish types to just the one, or types, pardon me, just the one. Let's just say string, so that I only have one test to debug through. I think that'll happen. I have a few. It's string or null, string or undefined, string or null undefined. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and switch this to just null. I really just want one test to deal with so I can debug through a little more easily. All right, the one. Cool. Let's put a debugger and see what happens in our check node function. All right, do. Oh, it is nullish. Oh boy. Is this type going to be an... Oh no, it's a string. Okay. Wait a second. Oh. Okay, here we go. So now there were two nodes that got hit. And just so I can see the source code text is here. Okay. So it must have hit A or B, and now it's hitting B and C. Let me... Oh, okay. Now it's hitting A or B. Sure, fine, whatever. All right. Why are we returning out, though? Wait, we are reporting. What? Oh, I still passed one test. Okay. That was confusing. Okay. So what is the test that is... What's the test that is passing? Aha! It's that I have one with the or and one without. So if I put some clever little comments here, I think I will find that just the equals is... Sorry, I said one with the or, one with the I meant one with the equals, one without. Yeah, the newly added code is what's actually failing. So now we can debug again and be sure that we're looking at the right thing. And let me just go back to the only true. It's this thing. Do. Okay, so it's complaining for some reason. It's complaining that in this case, when source code get text is this whole shebang, A or equals B or C, the left node, which in node.left is A, the type for node is string. No, it's an error. Ha ha. Let me take a look at this in the playground, see what error we actually get. Oh my word, because it's a const, this same thing. Ha ha. So let's, you know what, I'm gonna switch all consts in this file to, oh geez, all the declare consts to declare let, because we have a bunch of or equals, and that's not allowed with const, because const is constant. All right. So let me just remove that only and put back the types I changed. And let's see what the terminal says. And failures. Now all the columns are offset. Great. Thank you. Love to see it. Love these tiny little changes that I have to make now. Okay, but on the bright side, I'm pretty sure that I'm mostly done here, that the rule is working as expected. Error column should be 5, received 6, so I'm gonna find column 5. Error end column should be 6, so I'm just gonna go ahead and multi-select column 5, 10, column 6. Now we're down to 108 failed. Yay! Oh boy. Oh boy. And actually this brings up a good point that I didn't update the suggestion text. So now we have two issues. One is that it's not adding parentheses. In this case, a question mark, B or C. And also the suggestion text should be fixed. Prefer nullish. So really it's that let's look at this suggestion text. We want to change it to say question mark, and or with an equal or without an equal. So that's one change. And we also wanted to say, maybe we want to say instead of an assignment or. So maybe I want to prefer nullish assignment. Was it assignment operator and assignment operator and logical expression? So nullish expression. So preferred nullish assignment is blessing operator instead of a logical assignment, as it is a safer operator. Okay. Why is this complaining? Oh, it's not in the types, is it? For nullish, where is this mentioned? Up here. Prefer nullish assignment or prefer nullish expression. Cool. And that means check node does in fact take in a message ID and a suggestion ID. Because now we also have suggest nullish assignment expression. Question mark equals. Is this what I want to call them? A nullish assignment and nullish expression when the names are, what are the names? Assignment expression and logical expression. They're both expressions. One's assignment and the other is logic. So let's call it logic or nullish logic instead of an assignment. Instead of a logical assignment? Assignment expression versus logical expression. Instead of a logical assignment. Yeah, this is fine. Whatever. Call it a logical for the ID. Why is this complaining? Prefer nullish logical. Okay, well, whatever. Suggest nullish assignment. Did I put 3 S's there? I did. And prefer nullish logical. Why is this complaining? Oh, there we go. TypeScript. All right, so check node now needs to also take in the fix message and the suggestion message, or error message ID, again, 3 S's, and then suggestion message, report message, and suggestion message. There we go. Cool. And I did need message IDs because that's, I guess, what they're called in this file. So message ID for the report is actually report message ID. Let's call it that. ID. And the suggestion message ID is going to be suggestion message ID. All right. Check node, node, this beautiful multi-text. All right, so here the node is, again, multi-texting. Node is whatever, TSES3 dot whatever that is. Oops, I have to comment that out. Okay. TSES3 to TS node. I don't know how that got out of completed. All right, so for assignment expression, it's prefer nullish assignment, and the other one is prefer nullish, already forgetting what I wrote, for nullish logical, and then here is, you get the same thing, multi-select, but it's with suggestion in front of it. All right. Cool. Making progress. By the way, the chat's been pretty silent today, and that's fine. I can just keep going, but again, call it out. Let me know if there's anything you want to talk about or if anything's unclear. Always happy to chat. All right. So now we're probably going to have to update some tests for these message IDs. Yep. Oh boy. So here's a trick I'm going to do. For any message ID, it's going to check on equals. So equals, question mark, prefer nullish or not. So if there is an equals, we prefer, what are we preferring again? Prefer nullish assignment. And I've got multi-select going on. Otherwise, we prefer nullish, what is it? Logical. And then same with this suggest thing. I'm going to multi-select here. So if there's an equals, we suggest nullish assignment. Otherwise, we suggest nullish logical. All right, let's see how our tests are faring now. Most passing, but we still fail on some with the... Oh boy. Parsing error. Semicolon expected. What is going on here? C or D at the end. Oh, this is the top of the... All right, these are all failing on parsing errors, so let's see what the playground says is the parsing error. So you can't do... Oh, yeah, ugh. You can't do this. You can't do A and B or equals. You can only do B or there. Maybe I went too fast on adding to every single nullish type test, both an equals version and a not equals version. This is fine. I'll just add versions that do or don't have equals anyway. Okie dokie. Makes for simpler tests. This is fine. All right, so there's no equals here in the test. Why is this complaining? Okay, TypeScript's just being slow. So now this test is manually done with both the equals and the no equals. All right. Here we, oh, and I didn't even get to putting the equals in a bunch of these. So I'm gonna have to fix that now. These would be ignore conditionals. Oops. I'll just add one here with the, and another one here with the equals. Boop. And one here. Slow but steady wins the race. To be honest, I don't think I need the or equals in all of these, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. We checked an if statement and a while statement and a standalone expression. We don't need to also check a for and a while. I think it's the same code. So I'll do the same strategy with just adding a couple of them here. For the valid cases, the first two, that should be fine. Oops, I added it to the wrong place. All right. And now we get to the places where I started adding the equals. Oh, right, and I changed all the end columns, but I would have had to do a conditional on whether there's an equal. It's 6, otherwise it's fine. Yeah. Yeah. True wisdom, Bog Devil 13. I'll probably never need this. So let's just reset all this back. And then column is 5 again. So now if we do the equals here and here, change logical to assignment and the end column to 6. There we go. My code is no longer red squiggly ink. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and revert all the changes in the rest of this file because I know now what the strategy I'm going to have to take is. So where's source action? There's no, I have to go to the get view for that. Okay. Wow, wow, wow. Look at all those complaints, those changes. All right. Selecting the rest of the file, revert selected ranges. I'm also going to, again, trim right to trim end. Oh boy, it's yelling at me. Right, prefer nullish as a message ID is now prefer nullish logical. And suggest nullish is suggest nullish logical. All right, that should be passing now, I think. Should be passing now. That's another every programmer. And 12 failures. So actually not that bad. All right. So it's complaining on this one. X or equals foo. It should have had no errors, but had one. Prefer nullish coalescing instead of logical assignment, as it is a safer operator. Why is this happening? It's popping only. Well, back again to just having the one type and one nullish type for debugging purposes. See if there's only one getting hit. Yep, just the one test, and F5 to debug. And go. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so we are still complaining. Oh, right, we are complaining. We shouldn't be. I got it mixed around. We want to not complain on this. We don't want to report something, but we are reporting, which is bad. Wasn't the or equal not allowed? Sorry, what are you referring? CGC? I'm also kind of in a funk today, so maybe I'm just not seeing something. So I switched it from or foo question mark nulls to or equals foo. Oh, interesting. Ignore conditional tests is the case here. So it should be that we are ignoring conditional tests and we'd want this to be a return statement. Should we ignore this? Oh yeah, no, that was yeah, that was because I did a silly and used const for everything and then was surprised that or equals was not allowed. And then also you can't have an expression before the or equals. You have to have like just one variable here. But yeah, this is similar but different. This is that the is conditional test function is returning false for this node, because this new code that I made, x or equals foo, is getting somehow a different structure. Excuse me. Indicating that. What is it indicating? Why is this saying that? Why is the code saying that the old code x or foo is a conditional, but the new code isn't? What's happening here? So we're saying if we have a parent that is a conditional expression or do while or an if or for while, parents.addCurrent.test. This code is confusing to me. What's going on here? I'm gonna plop this back into the playground. Player X string or null. Let's say. So this code here is an assignment expression with a conditional on the right that's inside of an expression statement. Whereas the not equals, the or version, is, oops, I deleted the wrong thing. Also conditional. Oh, interesting. So in the original case, the whole thing was a conditional expression inside of an expression statement, and the test was illogical. Here it's an assignment expression where the right is a conditional. So I think what I'm trying to test is this. This is a conditional expression. There we go. So these lines 5 and 6 are not actually the same thing. This one is putting the parentheses with a different order. Man, parentheses are hard. All right. So if I were to change the code to here, I bet you it would pass happily. Please. Yes. Okay, cool. So that's resolved. And go. There we go. By the way, thank you to you two recent first-time chatters. I appreciate you speaking up. It makes me happy to have an active chat. All right, I'm getting 29 total tests. That's wrong. There are definitely way more, so I need to put back the full arrays of types and knowledge types. Here we go. All right. Everybody's passing. Hooray. Yay. The only thing I should note is that because we saw a failure case here, I'm going to want to add that in because it was a new tricky case. So I want to add a test case for this, that it does have errors in it. So I wonder if there's any tests like that already. So yeah, I'm guessing this one I'm also going to want to add a case for. Cool. Well, we'll get to that case when we get to it because I need to continue adding in or equals to new tests. Oops. All right, so we got this one. And next up is this one. So, oh yeah, we were on ignore conditional tests and I added, were we on ignore conditional tests? Where were we? Okay. We were on whatever this section was. Just before ignore conditional tests, so I'll add in a couple more here that have the equals in there. Ah, but this is where we just were. Okay, cool. So next up is the if statement. So I'll add one here. If x or equals foo. And then a while. So I'll add one there too. And call it a day for now. Haha. Failures. Love to see it. Let me guess. There's some shenanigan here with the code. Because it's a const. Ha ha. I'm just going to switch everything from declare const to declare len. Because I undid that change. Love to see it. Still 36 failures. Oh, right, because these are the new message IDs. I forgot I had to change that. All right, so I'm in the, where am I? Oh, I skipped one. I skipped straight to do while after, but there was a if. Oh, wait, no, never mind. We're good. Okay, so going back up, conditionals, if statements. So this assignment, or this logical needs to be assignment, as does, here's the normal, here's the new this one. And it's still running, so I'll just let it go and then hit save again. Save. There we go. Still 36 failing. Is it the end column? It's the end column. All right. Back up to where we were, to the if statements. So in the if statements, roll all the way up on these complaints. Here we go, back down. Oh, something new. Oh, I didn't update the fix or the suggestion output. There we go. All right. Skipping past those to where it starts complaining about the end column. Come on. Come on. Oh my God, so many of them. Why are you doing this to me? There we go. End column should be 9 verse 10. Where's end column 9? There we go. And oops, find the next one and column 10. So after a bunch complaining about 9 verse 10, we have also 18, 19. So 18 on the equals should now be 19. You know, I wish this was a little less manual. I feel like I haven't really learned too much new stuff in the last 10-15 minutes, but that's okay. That's fine. I guess I did with the parentheses things. I'm just being crabby. Ignore me. All right. So we added 2 conditionals, and now I'm going to add to the first couple of tests in mixed logical expressions. So or equals and column increase by 1 to 6. And we have the next one, which is going to have a bunch also. Column 11, column 6. I think I missed one because there were 2 in the first. This goes here in the second, and the first one gets the first. All right. What did I say? Aha! This is another example where the first one can't be or equals, because you have to have like a constant on the left side of an or equals. So A, B, C, D. Can we do this? No. But we can do this, A or equals. Awesome. So if we put an or equals there, here we go. Nice. I'm sure I like mixed up some of the, oh yeah, these should be assignments instead of logicals. I'm sure I messed up some of the end columns or fixers or something, but we'll see when the test finishes running. And go. So yeah, we couldn't switch this one to an or equals, but we could switch this one. Yep, I missed something. Oh yeah, this doesn't need parentheses. That's it. There we go. Cool. So close. End column, error column should be 8, but it's actually 9. So let's switch this over to 9. Let's see. We have 2 errors, column 3 and column 9. Was there also a column 3 to 4? No, but there was some wrong message ID complaints. Love to see it. It hurts me how there's so many greens and then just a little bit of red. All right, so A or equals B and C. Type 2. This is actually, oh, I forgot to update this one to assignment. Okie dokie. Assignment. This has been fun. I'm actually starting to enjoy this. By the way, y'all, don't forget, you should always stay hydrated coding, because if you don't, you'll be like me today and slightly crabby. Brain gets mad. Cheers, l'chaim, Jivili, all that good stuff. All right. I'm tired of adding more cases. I think it's fine as is. I've added a bunch and it works. So good for me. Now let's update the docs. I've got 20 more minutes in this stream and you're going to hear about docs now. But feel free to ask questions, suggest people I should rate in 20 minutes and so on. For starters, let me just make sure I have no errors. I don't know how that got imported, but okay, cool. The only red is from me deleting this unnecessary piece of code there. All right. So prefer nullish coalescing.md. We don't need to say TypeScript 3.7 added support for the nullish coalescing operator anymore. That's like a full major version ago. They just released TypeScript 4.8 beta. Very exciting. So actually, I'm gonna take this moment to update the docs to look more like what other docs files look like with the tabs. Because these tabs are great. All right, so ignore conditional tests. Do I want to take the time to update the tabs? I feel like I really just want to go through and rewrite this rule. I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to rewrite now. That I'm already doing a little more work that I need to with fixing up test code and stuff. So I'll save that for another day. We have another tracking issue that tracks going through and auditing the language used in all our test code. All right. Sorry, in all of our docs. Ooh. Okay, so I'm gonna just add in these things. I'll just add in a couple of examples for each one. I don't know why the ifs are on new lines. They don't have to be, I don't think. Is Prettier doing that? Prettier is doing that. Why is Prettier putting the if on a new line, but not the while? Weird. Anyway. Just gonna keep chugging away, adding some equal signs. Here. Yeah. So we should also note that logical, instead of logical assignments or chaining, so foo or yeah, logical assignments. Logical assignments look like value or equals or left or equals right, so let's say, and then what is it, logical assignments and what is it, assignments and expressions. Logical expressions. Are these both logical? Assignment expression, logical expression. Assignments and assignment expressions, logical expressions. All right, so as far as using the null coalescing operator instead of logical assignments or chaining, this operator allows you to safely cascade a value when dealing with null or undefined in assignment expressions left or equals right, and assignment expressions left or equals right, and logical expressions left or right. Okay, cool. That's good enough for now, I feel. Git checkout p prefer nullish coalescing assignments. Data and beat. What do we call these? I'm going to look at other pull requests to see what people call these things. Feat ESLint plugin, and then in brackets the name of the rule. So this would be feats ESLint plugin prefer nullish coalescing. Add support for assignment expressions. Yep, push u origin prefer nullish coa. There we go. I press tab and it auto completed. By the way, I recently filed an issue that we don't need to run Prettier on every single file when you commit, or excuse me, when you push. We already have Prettier running on commit. So actually, while this long roll thing is running, let me see where that issue is. I remember there was some discussion, but I don't remember quite what. All right. GitHook should run Prettier only on changed files. Josh Cena, one of my favorite people who contribute, +1. It's supposed to be deterministic. Okay, 4 days ago. Cool. I'll just mark this as accepting PRs then. Smile. I've had the proposed system in most of my other repos for a while and haven't had any issues. So I'll go into that next because I have 15 minutes left. Oh boy, what a long name. It's unfortunate. All right, PR checklist. This does address an existing issue, number 5229. What a well-timed issue, honestly. It came in right when I was thinking, man, I haven't actually coded on this stuff in a while and I miss it. That was marked as, I did mark it, yes, accepting PRs. I did follow the steps and contributing. Yep, yep. Cool. I will note this is a breaking change, I think. Note that this is a breaking change as it targets a significant new area of syntax. We'll probably have to wait until 6.6.x to merge. Sad. You know, the confused face is also for me the like slightly sad face, but okay. Adds or equal to question mark equals support to the rule by sharing or by reusing much of the existing rules logic. Cool, and I'm gonna draft that so people don't review until I know it passes all the CI. Yay. All right, so the other thing that I wanted to look into was get hooks should run prettier only on changed files. You saw in my terminal that when I committed, I did get a prettier ESLint staged running and cleaning up the files. And then also when I pushed, I got prettier running on everything, yarn check format. So I'm gonna remove that hook. It's under .husky is where hooks are stored. Husky pre-push. We don't need this, I don't think. Yarn pre-push just does yarn check format, and that just takes on a long time. So deletes pre-push, not found anywhere. Cool. So that's a quick little win for DX. Remove pre-push hook. Sure. Removed pre-push hook. Yeah. And look at this. I pushed and nothing ran. Beautiful, beautiful. So same as before, I did fix it. Open issue 5203. Boop, boop. For the issue, commits still get individual, still run prettier on staged to committed files. We just no longer also run prettier on all files when pushing. I'll draft that as well. All right. Cool. I feel good about this. I actually got a pretty good amount of stuff done. Nah, what is this? Hour and change, hour 18 minutes streaming. So let's look at the CI. Oh, still running here. I got 10 minutes. Feel free to post in the chat if there's anything you want me to look at in particular. While these are running, I'm just gonna go ahead and look at my oh boy, issue review queue. Yeah, I hate how big this list is. I really don't like leaving people waiting. Oh, new thing posted an hour ago. I'll just take a look at the first one. Type def false positive with depot. Didn't we fix this recently? I swear I saw something recently about this. Okay. So we have a bunch of complaints here about deep destructuring. Oh, look at this. They use the playground and it's easy to repro. Love it. Expected type annotation, ESLint, type def. Okay, yeah, this did get a type annotation. Okay. Can I resize this at all? No, that's not there yet. Okay. Aha. Similar issues connected with object restructuring or destructuring. Yeah, I remember looking at this. Playground. There we go. So on, oh, this is interesting. In the URL TS452, but here it's 472. I don't have the time to look into that right now. Similar to 4505. Wow, we have so many issues around type def. See, this is why part of why I don't even like this rule. You know, I don't use type def personally. So, all right, so we just have a bunch of complaints about destructuring because the rule just doesn't do a good job for those. That's unfortunate. All right, and the one they linked is already closed. So, yep, bug, accepting pull requests. I'm going to mark this as a good first issue because I think there's a lot of prior art to look at, and it's mostly just messing around with the AST to see whether it's a child of some other thing. Cool. So, yay, bugs. All right. Are my PRs ready yet? No. Next up on the issue queue. Oh yeah, Ben, if you're still here, yours is the next thing. I don't see Ben list out well. So a couple streams ago, a person who's very knowledgeable about web dev in general, and also very focused and capable and competent with accessibility in particular, did an audit for the site. So if you go to TypeScript ESLint.io, this GitHub, let me zoom in. This GitHub icon has ARIA label GitHub repository, and the suggestion was for maximum predictability, change it to GitHub because people who type in links on their keyboard, there's assistive tools software that map from you type a thing to the appropriately named thing. Users who want to click a link or button and say click the name, such as click comment. People who are cited have to guess at the name. So in Ben's opinion, and I agree this makes sense, GitHub is the most predictable name. However, it's not critical. Voice control software can do some fuzzy matching. The current link probably is fine when not failing the audits, but shortening to names just GitHub could make it even more predictable. That's the context for the recommendation, but I also think it's totally fine. Okay, cool. In that case, I do like having the increased specificity for users who aren't accustomed to a GitHub link in a header and or footer. It's nice that this one specifies that it's the repo. Thanks for the explanation. I mean this heart emoji sincerely. I love it when people help and are knowledgeable, and Ben has been super helpful in both making me feel good about our accessibility and also pointing out the things where we could and should do better. So yay, thanks Ben. And actually I mislabeled, it's really like a website fix. Cool. All right, I got, let's see, 5 minutes. Oh, what did I just hit? Issue review queue. Oh boy, so yeah, we have this rule. It's my favorite one. No floating promises. If you start a promise, it'll let you know if you don't handle it correctly. And Node just added its own built-in test runner where the root level test creates a promise, and that triggers no floating promises. Oh boy. Hang on a second. This is the wrong template. Oh boy. I see I posted a thing and then Brad posted a long thing, so I might not have time to really dive in too deep. But I will say tisk tisk, this is the ESLint plugin rule option. I'm just gonna refile. This template they used, plugin rule option, is asking for a new option to be added to a rule, but it's actually a bug in the rule. Oh wait, no, it's not that it's... No, this is the right template. That makes sense. They're asking, so, hey, can we have an option to ignore this specific thing? Okay, cool. So we very rarely, basically never in TypeScript ESLint, like adding exceptions for specific things, like a specific API from a specific package, or even specific built-in global whatever's like window. Because normally it's not that that specific thing is some unique special snowflake, it's that there are classes of things that rules don't handle well. For example, it's very possible that other test frameworks are going to start copying this idea of a test function that takes in a name and async function and returns a promise for finishing. Excuse me. All right. So Brad initially closed this very reasonably, where you can use the void operator, which per the docs lets you put a void in front of things. But that hurts me because if that means we're telling people, if you write native node tests in linted TypeScript, you have to use this operator, which, by the way, you've probably never used before, at least never used in this way. People might use void as a keyword, but never as an operator. So Brad has a rebuttal, which is reasonable so far reading through it. People who do this kind of pattern do want explicit handling here, so you don't have floating promise exceptions leaking. I suggested people use this option in tests, but people generally just put it in the root. Also, there is an actual legitimate slippery slope to consider. We generally don't special case anything for node. So if we are special casing this node, are we going to special case more in future? What makes the node test framework anything different to one of the more widely used test frameworks like Jest, Mocha, etc.? Because yeah, we have an existing issue that unbound method will false positive on Jest's expect function. Why should we be any different? I think this is, yeah, I'm not going to have time in this stream. So post in the chat if you have opinions here, but I'm going to have to think about this for a little bit. Which honestly, I actually am kind of pleased that I'm showing this side of things. Sometimes there's no immediate action you can take on an issue. You saw me earlier today, or earlier in the stream rather, you saw me do coding, which was fun. You saw me respond to an issue, one with won't fix, one with accepting pull requests, good first issue. And then sometimes there are things that are not so straightforward, not so cut and dry. I don't know what to do in this one. Brad makes a point that it's a, it's a special case, but also I think this is a wide class of special cases. That sometimes there are patterns that do legitimately create a promise and then you don't need to handle them. And I really don't know what to do with this one. Anyway, oh no, my CI is failing. Exactly one of the unit test runners failed. Oh, and then it canceled others. Okay, so I am failing some. Oh, I failed the docs test. That's right, that's right. So we have unit tests that verify that your docs match the rule. Okay. Cool. So what was I looking at? Preferred knowledge coalescing. I updated the description here, but I didn't update it in the rule. Knowledge coalescing operator instead of logical assignments or chaining. Cool. So if I go to yarn just docs, I think that file will run. Let's see if I fixed it appropriately. Eventually, we will much more auto-magically generate these MD files, or rather generate the files for the docs, so we don't have to really do these silly manual changes. Did I put 2 S's? Oh boy. I did not, which means this description, aha, doesn't need the S. All right, and then this readme, instead of logical assignments or chaining, and then this readme instead of logical, because we have 2 readmes, and I think one of them is going to get removed soon. There's a pull request somewhere. We'll see. We will see. Oh, I saw an X flash. Oh, another X. All right. Oh, I forgot to save this file. Okie dokie. And cool. So it's 12 o'clock my time. I've been here an hour and a half. With that, I've given y'all chances to ask me to answer things. So I'm just going to start rating. But it was a pleasure streaming. Thank you all so much for hanging out, especially people who chatted. I appreciate you greatly. Ooh, extra period there. And I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone. Starting raid in 10 seconds. Rating.